I have a gift for everyone. And the gift is actually of the last 10 months of SOPs that I have been able to create as to how to do your full suite of creative testing in Meta and also Google and TikTok and kind of everything else. It is led by Meta's Andromeda simply because that's the best prospecting engine. If you're running Performance Max in Google, you're going to want to run this. If you're also running TikTok, you're also going to want to run this. So if you're running Google, Meta, TikTok, I mean, you name it. Instagram obviously is a part of Meta, but if you're looking at Facebook and Instagram, some people only run one channel versus the other one. Makes a lot of sense when you're talking about like visuals for things like fashion brands or some that's have more graphic design and that kind of stuff. So it does have some reasons to it. But what we're going to be going over today is a omni-channel consistent approach with congruency to test concepts, hooks, offers, pain points, and iterations. Essentially, this is my brain just explaining to ChatGPT everything that I've done for like the last 10 months on my accounts, my client accounts, and that kind of stuff, but also how this equates to like a real life scenario. And it made it into a very easy to follow, easy to use, 8-step document here. So it looks much nicer because I am not ChatGPT. I can't create something like this, good looking. But essentially, this will be disseminated throughout the school community so that everyone can kind of start to use and practice it. And there's actually, it seems fairly simplistic, which it sort of is. But the genius isn't in the simplicity. The genius is in actually the congruency and the message testing. Yeah. So the way that we have to think about the document that I'm going to be sharing with you all, and I'll make this bigger so that we can follow along here. But what years of omnichannel MMM marketing, anonymous raccoons here, the years of omnichannel MMM marketing has essentially taught us is that if we're disjointed or if we're not trying to optimize a specific message across all omnichannels, there is a lot of chasing our tail. There's a lot of inconsistent performance. So think about like, I'm going to run an ad on Meta, and that ad is going to be talking about why, I ordered from licorice.com. They actually got me with an ad. So I'm just going to talk about this licorice here. It's like my daughters love cherry and strawberry. So I was like, we'll get it. We'll share it, that kind of stuff. So I'll talk about the licorice here. So if you and I have no idea what is in this, so we're just going to call this a super healthy licorice. Okay. I'm just rolling with it. Imagine I'd be like, hey, Caden, sell this strawberry licorice. And it's up to you now to do that. So what we're talking about is Meta is going to be like, oh, we're going to talk about something where it has like, it uses cane sugar, no high fructose corn syrup. Okay. Now, did you also do that on Facebook and Instagram? Did you do it on TikTok? Did you do it on Performance Max? Did you do it on your landing page? Normally, no.
Yeah.
A lot of times, like, and not in a bad way, but when we even have our school community in internal conversations, like, what are they doing on Meta?
Don't know.
Exactly. So you have one sequence of users out there in the ecosystem that is understanding what your pain point, hook, and offer and kind of unique selling proposition, unique value proposition is, but no one else. And so what this solves for is when we're looking at all of our data here, when we're talking about the hot and cold traffic, what stage they're being introduced to the creative and where they're actually starting to do their add to carts. This is literally months of aha moments kind of wrapped up into one. So I'll go through it. We're going to talk about the simple title, standard operating procedure, creative testing for Andromeda framework, obviously Meta, but this is going to be across the board. This is what we recommend. We can say Meta, but it's Meta, plus paid media channels. So we can kind of refine this here. Establish a structured and repeatable creative testing process within Meta Andromeda framework. That's kind of what we're looking at first. Most people, I would say 99 out of 100, use Meta as their primary source of prospecting. Well, when you're using the primary source of prospecting in a ever-moving ecosystem, chances are that they're going to understand what you have to offer, but maybe not necessarily take advantage of it. And that's where we have to make sure that we are really locked into what we are trying to get across as the first message, but also repeat that message with more remarketing. We'll talk about the pain point, hooks, and offers and concepts here in a moment. Meta wants 5. I don't know how to get rid of the anonymous raccoon. Anyway, but it'll say 2 to 3. There we go. So Meta wants 5 new concepts. In our opinion, when we tested this, we really have enough for about 1 concept at a time. Reason being is that when you have 1 concept, you're really able to test your concepts, your different hooks and different offers. But it'll come clear when I say that, you want to test multiple, you'll want to be able to test multiple concepts. That means that we are going to do a consecutive test, not a concurrent test. So we test one, then we move on to the other test. Reason being is that when we're testing a concept, we're trying to find, is it resonating with the market? How do we get it to resonate with the market? We'll have to capture your attention. That's a hook. Well, I got to get a conversion. That's an offer. Well, I also have to wait for my sales cycle. It could be 13 days. So if you think about testing different concepts, different hooks, different offers, different creative over 13 days, and you're looking at it by CPA, which is last click attributed, what's working? You can't say. It's impossible. So what we're looking for is, how do we develop a consistent and congruent messaging across the board that we have enough budget to test a concept, but also omnichannel? Well, let me just move down here just a little bit. The creative structure and testing is, if you have a concept, let's say you have 3 concepts. So my concept of this one here is cane sugar rather than high fructose corn syrup. That's my concept. That's how I'm going to sell this. What is going to be my hook? Health on your mind, get rid of the high fructose corn syrup and go back to cane sugar. That could be it. Yes. I mean, cane sugar does very well in terms of versus high fructose corn syrup. Is it better than, Splenda? No, but people enjoy it more when they know they're looking for a sweet treat and a snack. Now, what is going to be my offer? New customers get buy one, get one free. New customers get 20% off. New subscribers get first subscription 15% off. Buy the strawberry, get the black licorice for free. Buy the strawberry, get the cherry licorice for free. You can think about all the offers that you can create. So what we're trying to do now is saying, okay, our concept one is going to be, we're going to test the high fructose corn syrup versus cane sugar. That's how we're going to sell this product. The hook, we're going to capture attention by calling that out in the beginning, and then we're going to offer them one. Now, what other hooks and what other offers can we test at the same time? Now, obviously, that is a half-assed thought concept. It's probably not a good concept to really go to market with in a full bore type of scenario, but it does make a lot of sense when we're talking about what is the grand theme that you're going to try to get across to people's minds through meta first and then reiterated throughout the different variations. So when we look at the concept, each concept and each hook and each offer, if you have 4, you're going to need a 16:9 video ad, a static image ad, and a 69 by real ad. So you're going to need 3 different variations. So that means that 4 concepts times with 1 hook and 1 offer each times 3 different creative variations, you're going to come up with 12 variations. That's 12 ads. Now, most of the time when you're running, let's say, $500 per day campaign, $5,000 per day campaign, most of the time, if you have 40 ads in there, you got about 6 to 10 that are working. Now, if you have 12 variations and $500 a day, you might have 3 or 4 variations that are working. So what we're looking at here is what is having the high amounts of spend. And I'm going to go through an example of this so you can all see this in real world as we're doing this also at the same time. But and I have 2 different examples actually, and also how it's working. But as we are making our 12 different variations with 4 combinations and 3 formats, we're going to find the winner. And the winner could be, wow, concept 1, hook 2, offer 1 is working the best. Well, how do we identify that? When we look, and we'll go through this here, but I'm just going to skip ahead. We use our nomenclature. In one ad set, one ad, let's say focus on new customer acquisition, we can identify the ad that has the highest amount of spend, which is, let's say, creative or concept 1, hook 1, offer 1 video, or concept 1, hook 2, offer 2 static. So we can identify what is having the highest amount of ad spend. That is going to be the first thing we look at. That is what we're actually prospecting with, regardless if you want it to or not. I don't care where the conversions are coming in. We're going to demystify that here a little bit. But what is having the highest amount of ad spend is typically what is also being permeated throughout the market about who your brand is, especially if it's on Meta. Everything else follows suit. If they buy on Amazon, it's because of the reason why they first saw you on Meta, or the concept that you're pushing on Meta. A lot of times you'll have like 4 or 5 different concepts where it's like, it's red, it's sweet, it's tasty, it's strawberry. What does everyone like? Well, yes, everything kind of worked together. But was that really static, or was that something that was purposefully tested, or is that just where everyone just kind of last clicked? I'm going to pause here just for a moment, because this is actually something that we've been dealing with for a while. We touched upon this, I think, last week where we went through these here, right? Did we do this?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Where it's like, hey, this is cold. No, not many added cards. When they return warm for 3,900, it's like a whole ton of added cards.
Trying to understand the funnel.
Exactly. Trying to understand the funnel. Well, if you look at Meta, this says the opposite. It says this is actually working the best but it also has only 43% warm traffic, only 3,900 clicks. But they all started here and here with the 70,000 clicks. It's just a 4,000 that returned from the 70,000. So technically, this kind of didn't really work very well. It actually is true. It didn't really work well. We actually found out that the reason why this was getting so many clicks here is Tim, is because that is a really cute, very fluffy dog. No one added it to cart. Shit ton of comments. Oh my God, the dog's so cute. And oh my gosh, it's like so fluffy and fuzzy. Oh my God, I want him. No one really no one bought anything.
Kind of engagement.
Exactly. So the concept of happy looking dog did not do as good as the kind of sickly looking dog. I'm sorry. But hey,
5 times my dog looks like that. Okay, maybe I'll check out the product.
Exactly. Like 5 times the engagement actually killed our performance. So yeah, the creative actually one ad can ruin your life. Absolutely. That's why we're sticking with this methodology now. But when we're looking at the structure, we have, one concept at a time, 2 hooks, 2 offers, so that we're testing how is this concept doing during this month time period and what hook and offer are working well. Now, when we change concepts, then now what? So now that we've changed concepts, we're like, okay, we already did the cane sugar. What else?
Lasts forever, easily affordable. You can take it whenever you want to take it, and it doesn't go bad.
Perfect. Lasts forever. That's a great concept. Lasts forever. Now let's pause here. Let's go back to the first concept. What offer won? Was it 25% off your first order or 40% off your first subscription? Just choose it. Doesn't matter.
Let's do offer 2.
Okay, so 40% off your first subscription. That is the offer that you're going to test against another offer that is different than offer 1. Offer 1 was 25% off. That failed. What about offer 2? You get a 40% off your subscription. Now, in concept number 2, as we're talking about the licorice that lasts forever, what's a different variation of the winning offer? Let's iterate what is now. No one likes 25% off. Maybe they didn't like the product yet, but when they did like the product, they chose 2 instead of 1. So no one's going to like the product more. That's going to say, I want to change my offer now. We've already solidified offer 2 works. So now we have a static offer, which is 40% off. We're going to test it against something else. Obviously, if you do 50% off, that's going to work, but you could do a BOGO. We tested 25% off, failed. 40% off subscription, worked. What about buy one, get one free when you subscribe, when you're a new subscriber? A BOGO deal when you're a subscription, perfect. Now that's basically a 50% off, but maybe we get them into a different type of licorice. Maybe they choose strawberry and cherry, strawberry and black licorice, strawberry and red licorice, whatever it is. But we're now testing our static offers. Again, omni-channel. So now when you change concept and you change hooks and you change offers, do that on Meta, on TikTok, on YouTube, on Demand Gen, on Performance Max, on all of that area. You now have to change your concept because now you're moving into a second in your consecutive. We have month 1. We found the concept. We found the hook. We found the offer. Now we're going to try a different concept because we've hit creative fatigue. Hey, if you like this video, we have a school community where we have a few hundred members and we cover topics, everything from the basics to all the way to the hyper crazy advanced stuff that's coming out next month. So a few hundred members there. We go live twice a week, something with an hour-long education about something that is very relevant to the community that week, plus a weekly Q&A where you just get to come and bring us all of your problems and we solve them one at a time.
So I have a link below in the description if you want to join. And then obviously if you have any questions, feel free to reach out and we can answer those for you. And we'll see you in there.